Good evening, everyone. It's Miss Amy again. And this evening, I would also like to talk to you about a celebration center. This is either in your home or in your classroom, or if you're a teacher, administrator, or director, it can be in your office. We can really set up celebration centers anywhere and for any age child. So what these really do are celebrating children's efforts and their successes. And that looks different for every child. So if we continue to see all kids in a system of only a certain way of behaving and only that certain grades are the ones that are acceptable and the ones that we revere and hold up, that leaves a lot of children kind of left out when it comes to celebrations. And I'm not talking about rewarding things with candy or treasure box or fun Friday. Those things are fine if they're used appropriately, but for them to be used punitively where certain children are always left out because they are falling short of the expectations we're putting on them and other children are always getting it, there's really no long-term gain from that for either child. The one that's constantly being rewarded and it becomes kind of a me too, I expected that, and the child that's always being left out of those reward systems kind of gives up after a while. So in our mantra and idea of what we're trying to do with conscious discipline and with conscious awareness is to set up a school family that really celebrates accomplishments big and small. So this is an excellent book, Creating the School Family, and it's really applicable not only for preschool and school, but also again for our homes and some ideas of things to do at home to make little celebrations for kids, regardless of what we're celebrating. So specifically, if you have this book in chapter 13, it discusses celebration centers and celebrating things, putting on the refrigerator a little chart or a woohoo, great job, you worked so hard, definitely to make sure that children know that we acknowledge and recognize their effort. We don't just say, great job, or I'm so proud of you, that we specifically tell them, you worked so hard. Last week, you were having a lot of difficulty sharing toys. This week, you worked so hard on it, and I can really see how you're getting the hang of it. You lost a tooth. It's great to have a tooth chart because all kids are going to lose teeth, and then they feel special when they do. A new baby in the house. A lot of times that transition is very difficult for children. If we celebrate them as the older sibling and make sure they know how wonderful they are as an older brother or sister and how important their job is and celebrate that, it encourages them and it becomes a positive thing to have a new baby in the house, even if there's stressors. If they learn to ride their bike or ride a skateboard, any new skill, if they're trying to learn to play the piano, if they're showing any kind of improvement in self-control, in improvement with their sight words, if they're coloring better inside the lines, it could be things as small as that. But our connections with them, again, going back to the I love you rituals of truly looking in their eyes, making sure that we're making eye contact and that we're very present and we're acknowledging and recognizing, I know you're working hard. I'm very proud of the hard work that you're putting in, and it's really showing and paying off. Kids that used to push all the time in line, if they're showing some restraint with that, maybe letting children go first, or if they're standing straight in line without swinging their arms or knocking into kids or, bumping them from behind and things like that. Little things like that, when we acknowledge those things and recognize it, that has more lasting change than just saying, well, you're pushing in line, so you lost Fun Friday, or you're holding the thread of the treasure box over their head all week to try to get them to behave, isn't showing them how to behave. That's just kind of incentivizing them with something, but it doesn't have lasting change. All of us were taught that it did, but really what we're seeing is that that really doesn't change or modify behavior. We want to encourage, and what we encourage and what we focus on, we get more of. So if we're always focusing on the negative with kids, of course, we're going to get more negative. That's human nature. If we're pointing out the little pearls of things that they're doing along the way that are positive, they will feel good about themselves. That increased self-esteem in turn encourages them, and they're motivated to do well and to do better and to come to us when they need help with it. Children that are cleaning up in the classroom, to really recognize them. This is just one example of a million. This is a little kindness tree. You could have a cleanup tree, an accomplishments tree, a lineup tree, a helper tree, and then just, moving little stickers, little magnets, whatever you want to use, little pictures of them, to move it on the board, to say, I really recognize as your mom, your dad, your teacher, your administrator, your teacher's aide, your piano teacher, whomever, that you're really trying. I appreciate that you're trying to pay attention better, that we're staying on task a little bit longer. So acknowledgement and encouragement with eye contact, playfulness, singing, dancing, really being present with them and letting them know that what they're doing is being recognized, and it's a big deal. So again, the biggest thing we can do as Celebration Center is what we focus on, we get more of. So when we're encouraging and praising them, that truly is what has lasting change on behavior and encourages not only children, but adults as well. When we are acknowledged for hard work, for thinking outside of the box, for going the extra mile, you don't need some big award. You don't need some, extra bonus check. You really don't need those things. Those things are nice, but we don't need another plaque for our wall that we, worked so hard in the third quarter of, a year cycle. To have that acknowledgement from peers, coworkers, supervisors, to have it in our own families, as moms and dads, as children, grandparents, for someone to say, I know how much you love us. I know how hard you're working. We appreciate your work. It's really things like that, and us focusing on the positive, the team effort, everyone pulling together, that makes such a big difference. So again, at home, your celebration centers, whatever works for your family. That could be posting accomplishments, positive, encouraging notes, nice little pictures that you all draw each other. If you have some kind of a board for chores that are done without complaining, someone helping someone else and giving a helping hand at school or at home. All of those are great examples of not only how to do things within our family, but our school family. And that's really what we're trying to ingrain in the children, is that when they're away from their biological family, they are a school family. So we really need to pull through those concepts of how we treat our family to our school family. And part of that is having these great celebrations. They're fun, they break up the day, and they really let kids know that we honor them and know that they're special. So it is wonderful to celebrate birthdays and things like that. It's very important, but we can do celebration centers for the smallest things every day, so that it doesn't just boil down to one special event for a child. This is really cute in chapter 13. Let's see if I can get to the page. This woman has this little girl standing up in front of the classroom, and she's kind of showing, she had made a special box with, pictures and kind of talking about her life. And you could tell she was so proud to do it. And the teacher was really giving her the opportunity to speak for herself and to have some autonomy there. So that's so important too, that we celebrate them, that we encourage our children, and that we make it fun. So you can see here, that may be the teacher in the rocking chair. And this little girl, this is her special box. Or that may even be her brother. And this could be her mom or her grandmother. I'm not sure. But the point is that it's showcasing accomplishments and giving the children a chance to shine. So we can do that every day in big and small ways. Again, your COM and team are always here to support you, if you need any ideas or suggestions, or if you have something that's worked great in your home or your classroom, we would also love to hear about it. Because I feel like the more that we share those ideas, and maybe they travel around the entire world, we are just planting seeds of positivity and kindness, and we're really focusing on what we want more of. And that is safety in school, positivity, self-esteem, showing these kids their worth, really making eye contact with them, being present when they're telling us things. It's so easy to be distracted. We all have so much on our minds, but really giving the kids the attention that they need and deserve, because they so desperately need to be heard right now. And part of that is celebration centers and making sure they know how much we care about them. So I hope that was helpful. It's something that we could all do a little bit more of, personally and professionally. I wish you well. I hope that you are all staying safe and well, and I hope you do something to celebrate yourself this evening, and in big and small ways every day. Have a great night.